Our guys are sitting the bench a little bit too long. And again, let's look at this as a long-term development when it comes to developing players. Because what's our goal as coaches, especially at the younger levels? That's to keep them interested in the game, motivated, getting better, succeeding individually, right? Because they have to succeed individually, meaning, if I'm just hitting ground balls, I'm happy. I'm starting off in a good, at least I'm hitting the ball. And I may even get on base doing that. And then that turns into a line drive. So I think that's an individual thing. So we have to make sure that, at the younger levels, we're looking at development. We don't want them to stop playing the game at 13, at 14. People use excuses. They say, well, kids are going to stop because of video games and, girls or boys and this and that. Not if they love the game and they're having fun. Right. I don't know of anybody that's going to stop playing a game they love. They're doing it. Joe Madden, when the Cubs won the World Series, what'd you see? I saw 9 players that can play several different positions.
Yep.
Okay. Now, why can't our young kids play different positions? 1, we don't allow them to. 2, we don't train them in the fundamentals. If you can catch, field, and throw, what positions can you not play? Possibly catcher, because you need more time and, the fear factor behind the catching. Maybe pitching, but I'm not convinced of that, because I think if you throw well, you can at least throw strikes. Mm-hmm. And if you throw 1 inning, pitch them one batter, give them experience, 2 batters, whatever it may be. But if I could throw, field, and catch, I could play the outfield. I could play the infield. I just have to make some minor adjustments. What I'm going to do fundamentally to get guys out at first base, these guys need to be under more practice situations in like real games. I don't know any better way than for them to feel comfortable when they get into a game. It's not 100% foolproof, right? Just because they do it well under pressure in practice, because it's not the same pressure, but it's better than nothing. And once they get into a game, they're going to feel a little bit more comfortable. Look at your warm up. Most pitchers at the younger levels, when they warm up, you watch a ball game. You ever see a hitter with a pitcher and catcher warming up? Most of the time, it's just a pitcher and a catcher.
Yeah, it's just a pitcher and a catcher.
But, I asked this question 15 years ago. I said, why aren't we putting hitters there? We got to prepare for the real situation. Just because you did it last week in practice, then it's not going to mean it's going to transfer. We got to prepare them right now. Put a hitter up there, put a righty, put a lefty. How do you continue to, as you said, train your players? So there's several ways to do that. One, that it's on the bench. You can do that by what? Having them have a stopwatch, maybe, timing the catcher throwing down the second, right? And then maybe having another guy timing the pitcher throwing home and seeing it 2 times, right? So that way, when you take your lead, if you can steal or not. Now, it might be a little bit more advanced for the real young kids, but why do we start to do that? It's not easy to work a stopwatch that way, but it starts to get them to educate them in doing that. If I've got a weakness, shouldn't I be working on different things between innings? Ground balls. So I'm taking ground balls, even if I'm forced to take them first. If your weakness is backhand, well, you need to take more backhand ground balls then. You might mix it up. You might 1 inning, you might take a backhand, another inning forehand, another inning you feel the ball, drop it and throw it. Another inning, a double play, another inning on the run. Whatever you do, it's always something situational wise. So there's many ways to keep guys busy and to constantly, and it's not just busy, it's to constantly work on something. I'll take it into throwing, right? How many times do we watch, we say, okay, prior to a practice and prior to a game, we're going to loosen up, by playing catch, maybe 10 to 15 minutes, depending on, how you want to do it. And then you're going to stretch it out. Okay. And my concern is that's great, but do I have a better way to do that? They always ask, why are we doing it this way? Right. That's the best way. And then secondly, is there a better way? When I do a coaching course anywhere in the world, I want my coaches that I'm trying to teach, because I'm learning from them too, man, when I'm there, but I'm trying to teach them, be creative. Don't always think what your coach taught you. That's good what your coach taught you, but now think a step ahead and say, how can I make this drill better? How can I make it more effective? How can I include more players into it? How can I include it more like a game situation? So what I try to do is, when you take playing catch, sure, I might do a couple drills that are relative to, and you know this from the throwing aspect, that are relative to working with the fundamentals of your movement. Okay. So I might do 2-3 drills like that, right? You start off, as you maybe make 5-6 throws back and forth and all that. And that's great. You work on your fundamentals a little bit, maybe even just play a little, catch from a short distance. You're starting, a regular distance, just play a little catch, get your body loose a little bit. But then what I do is I like to create situations right away. So if we're going to throw and we're going to move back little by little, I'm going to start in a fielding position with the ball in the glove. Boom, make the throw. I'm going to start on a forehand position, ball in the glove, boom, make the throw. I'm going to throw the ball up in the air, catch it, make the throw. I'm going to drop the ball on the ground, pick it up the right way, whatever, you're teaching, and then make the throw. Now I'm creating as many different situations. I'm still playing catch. I'm not, because I'm throwing the ball, but I'm doing it from different positions. One of the most critical parts of throwing is the transfer of the ball to the hand. If that's not correct, I don't care how good your fundamentals are, right? If you don't have a good grip, the ball's going to go flying, especially for young kids. So if I have 10 to 15 minutes of these drills or this type of throwing, I'm transferring the ball how many times out of my glove? Yeah, that might be 50, 80 times I'm doing it every day. Now, all of a sudden, because we tell players, well, you got to practice, transferring the ball. Well, when am I going to do that? Well, you could do it on your own by throwing it off, but kids aren't going to do that as much. Now you incorporate it in your practice. I do with young kids, I control that. So what I'll do to start off with, I use a whistle and the 6 guys on one side, 6 on the other, and I'll whistle and they go, right? So if we're going fielding position, I'll whistle, boom, they make the throw. Once they're ready, I'll whistle again. The better they get at it, the quicker I go. If they need more work, I go slow. Now, why do I do it as a team? Well, you know the answer. When you're just letting guys play catch on their own any way they want, balls are flying everywhere. Now, that doesn't mean you're not going to get to that. Sure. Eventually, you're going to say, now you know your weaknesses. You know what to work on in throwing. Do the drills you need to do with your partner. Boom, go. And now you're going to watch them do it. They're going to make those decisions. And they're going to have a time allotted to be able to go long, obviously, and then come in, as most guys do, and throw maybe some quick throws back and forth. But to me, that's more productive. Now, I'll take it one step further. I now will then start with the ball in my glove and whatever position I've got to throw from. So if I'm going to my forehand, I'm now going to run with the ball in my glove, pretend I'm fielding the ball on my forehand. I don't care how many steps you take. It's up to you, and now you're making a throw to your partner. I encourage coaches to do that.